some crazy true stories that I wish were fake for their sake. First story, after my boyfriend passed away, I slept with his best friend and it's eating me alive. Okay. This story came December 3rd, 2025. It's fresh. Earlier this year, oh Lord of mercy, this is heavy. Okay, I was just prepared for like a little bit of innocent gossip, but here we are. Earlier this year, my boyfriend ended his own life. Before he was found, he was missing for several days. My mind has been stuck in this endless loop of what ifs ever since. It's exhausting. It's like my brain won't let me accept that some things were outside of my control. We had been together for about 4 years. He was only 26 years old. About 2 months after he passed, I ran into one of his best friends, someone who was part of his extremely close friend group. Before anything happened, I always liked him. Not in a romantic way, he's just a great guy. He was always there for my boyfriend during all his mental health struggles, even though he struggled to understand it all himself. He knew sides of my boyfriend that I didn't. He understood the parts of him he shared only with his closest friends. Seeing him again after everything, it hit me hard. It felt grounding, familiar, safe. Like being around someone who still held the pieces to the person I lost. We ended up going to a bar to talk. We drank way too much, opened up about things we never said out loud, cried, and eventually we slept together. I know it came from grief and vulnerability, but the guilt is eating me alive. And what scares me more is that I feel this intense pull toward him now. Not just physically, but emotionally. It's like I'm desperate to be close to someone who was as close to my boyfriend as I was, maybe even closer. I know that might be unhealthy. He and my boyfriend had 2 other best friends in their tight-knit group. I keep thinking, what if he told them? They were always very protective of my boyfriend. They loved him like he was a brother. And the idea of them finding out what happened makes me sick. I feel like they would hate me, like they would see me as disrespecting his memory or betraying him. I don't even know if they would understand how complicated and grief-driven that night was. What if they think something was going on before he died? Even though nothing ever happened before, that thought terrifies me. The friend I slept with hasn't mentioned anything since texting me once the next morning. He said he hoped I got home safe and that he was sorry for everything. But we haven't talked about what happened, and now I feel like I made everything awkward to a point of no return. Yeah, I fear like I'm not qualified to give any kind of advice here. I truly am not. Sometimes it's best to keep your mouth shut. I can't imagine what emotions you're going through when you lose your partner, especially in that way. All of this, I'm like, brain cannot compute. It can't do much. I don't even know what I'm saying. The next update came over a week later, December 11th. Reading the comments on my last post pushed me to think more clearly than I have in months. People shared similar experiences, and I also received a lot of direct messages from people sharing similar stories. It made me realize that what happened wasn't at all that unique or weird. I also came to feel that it wasn't something unforgivable or a monstrous act. I still feel guilty about what happened, but surprisingly, not quite as guilty as I did before I had posted. It was actually the harsh, judgmental comments that really helped me change my perspective of the whole thing. Despite how bad I felt about it, I wasn't expecting so many people to act like I committed a mortal sin. But none of those people could explain why what we did was so bad or evil. It made me defensive, which in this case ended up being a good thing. I kept saying, but why is it so bad? Why do I feel this way? No actual harm was done. No one was betrayed or hurt. Nothing happened while my boyfriend was still here. The guilt I felt was real, but the logic behind it wasn't. That gave me the courage to reach out to his best friend. I realized that sitting in this awkward silence was stupid, and I don't want to lose contact with him or my boyfriend's other closest friends over this. I texted him and I just said hi. He responded almost immediately. I should have done it a while ago. It's really all I needed to say to get the conversation going. Eventually, I told him that I had been thinking a lot about what happened between us, and I was so sorry that I left so quickly afterwards, and that I had remained Silent. I just felt guilty and sad and I didn't know what to do. He admitted that he hadn't reached out to me because he blamed himself for what happened and he figured I was staying quiet because I blamed him or that I didn't want to hear from him. We both sort of admitted that we were still struggling with what happened to my boyfriend and we were feeling depressed, especially with the holidays now. We agreed to meet up the next day, but stayed completely sober this time. He said the night we spent together wasn't meaningless, but it also wasn't something that he fully understands yet. He said being with me felt comforting and familiar, but the next morning he panicked. He said he cares about me, maybe more than he expected, and that's exactly what scared him. He said he felt guilty for how close he felt to me, and despite understanding that my boyfriend is deceased, he can't get over the feeling that he's committed some sort of ultimate betrayal. He said he didn't want to lead me on, but he also didn't want to pretend like nothing was there. He said he feels this pull towards me too, but also feels guilty for it. Being around each other makes us feel closer to my boyfriend and his best friend. He said he doesn't want to hurt me or himself or the memory of someone that we both loved. I asked him if he told his other two close friends. Why am I sitting at home for a month fretting about whether they know or not? I could tell he really didn't want to answer, but he confessed that he told them both about it. He apologized and said he was overwhelmed with guilt, confusion, panic, and that maybe he told them in part to punish himself. He said the other two friends weren't angry at me, but they're upset with him. They don't understand how it could have happened. I feel exposed and embarrassed. I don't care what he says. I'm sure they're judging me for it, which might explain why I've not heard from either of them since. I don't know if his friends will ever see me the same. This is so messy. And all the feelings right now are very, they are gonna feel defensive and protective over their friend, even if he's not here anymore. Of course, this is truly, I don't know what to say about it. And that says a lot because you can't keep me quiet most days, all right? Now let's actually check out some of the comments because based off her first post, people had a lot to say. And Reddit usually does have a lot to say. Someone commented and said, please just admit that you and that piece of trash had already slept together and your boyfriend found out and that's why he took his own life. I was not prepared. Okay, OP responded and said, this is a response. This is a long one. I hope you're in a position one day to realize just how hurtful your comment is. No, we hadn't slept together before my boyfriend ended his life. We cleaned him up, literally bandaged his wounds, and put him to bed together on several occasions though. We visited him together when he was in the psych ward and in rehab. Real sexy, probably when I fell for him and started having all those dirty fantasies of mine, just waiting for the day my boyfriend would finally pull the plug so I could pursue the guy I really wanted to be with. Obviously, that's sarcasm. My boyfriend had severe clinical depression, borderline personality disorder, and an alcohol dependence disorder, one of his ways of coping. He also physically harmed himself. He had real mental health problems that neither I nor anyone else caused. His best friend visited him nearly every day whenever he was committed somewhere. He helped pay for all the medical bills since insurance only covered so much. So I always held his best friend in high esteem, but I never had any romantic feelings for him. I didn't feel a sexual attraction to him. I was too busy being in love with my own boyfriend, and he truly was the only guy in my eyes at all. He was everything to me. He's my most special person. I'm still in love with him. I never want to not be in love with him. At times, dealing with his problems could be exhausting. You're not really given a handbook. There were times that I wish I could just be with somebody normal, but I really just wanted him to be healthy again. I wasn't fantasizing about being with his friend or anyone else for that matter. And that's where the story ends. So maybe after seeing all the comments, she felt it was best to get off Reddit and just deal with this in life, because yeah. Emotions are already really high, girlfriend. Therapy, professional help, it's gonna take a lot of time, a lot of healing. There's a lot of things to work through. Whew. Next story. Maybe it's not as depressing because that was heavy. That was really heavy. I think it's not exciting, but I think my girlfriend is cheating on me with our roommate. It's juicy. It's juicy. This one came November 25th, 2015. The fact that that is now over a decade ago is crazy. My girlfriend and I have always had a lot of fun together. She is my best friend and the absolute love of my life. I plan to propose this Christmas, already having her father's blessing. Recently, I noticed her acting differently with our roommate, who's also one of my oldest friends. He is known for being a womanizer, always has different girls leaving in the same clothes they had on the night before. I came home from work and they were quietly whispering in the kitchen. It sounded like a serious discussion, and when the door closed, I swear I heard her say, "Shh, he's home." And when I walked into the room, they shot apart. It could have been paranoia on my part, I guess, but then last night when we were all sat watching some stupid reality show, she was on her phone the entire time. His phone buzzed and I saw her name on his screen. They were texting while we were in the same room. That can't be good, can it? How do I bring this up? Do I confront her? Him? Do I need to sneak for evidence? I mean, for my sake? Selfishly, please seek for evidence. My mind is like, they're either planning a surprise party or something for you, or definitely cheating. It could be either one, because there's not enough yet where it was like inappropriate talk, like, I don't know. All right, we have an update, thankfully, and it was 2 days later. As one Redditor rightly guessed, I have been cheated on before. It was one of those after I found out and ended it. It turns out some of my friends had noticed and never bothered to tell me. So now I worry I look for the signs a bit too much. She's never given me a reason not to trust her until this whole roommate thing came about. I'd like to clear up a few points. When he first moved in, she didn't approve of his promiscuous ways. She was worried about a lot of different girls having access to our home when we're not there. And while she made her feelings clear, they still remained civil. They stayed out of each other's way, small talk, etc. He told her his only rule for sleeping around is that everyone involved had to be single. He is a strong believer of bro code, which makes this harder to swallow for me. She has never made me feel the need to snoop. She charges her phone right on my nightstand instead of her own because hers is full of books and a lamp. If she had something to hide, she wouldn't leave her stuff so out in the open, would she? Some cheaters are dumb and lazy. So after the other night, she left her phone on my nightstand as usual and pretty much went straight to sleep. I admit I tried to look. Her password had changed, which shocked me a lot. See, that's not a good sign. She only has a password to stop from butt dialing people. Everyone knew her password. She's a very open book about stuff. I got so angry I couldn't sleep. This is another red flag, right? But I couldn't exactly wake her up and demand her new password, could I? Without it giving it all away. I fumed for ages and I only got about 2 hours of sleep. Last night is where everything went wrong. She messaged me saying she was on her way home and that she would meet me there. And did I want anything specific for tea? I said steak. Steak? Tea? To eat? Is tea supposed to be eat? I said steak. She said, can you pick up this and this from the store on your way home? I said, yes, see you later. Still angry and hurt over my failed snooping attempt the night before, I got to the store after work knowing she was home. And when I went to pick up what she had asked for, they had run out. So I decided to ring her to see if there was any alternative or to just leave it. There was no answer. I rang again. No answer. My stomach was in knots at this point. I ring my roommate, no answer. Stomach doing backflips. I rang the house phone, no answer. So something in me snapped and I rang over and over, letting it constantly ring until one of them picked up. She eventually answers, sounding out of breath. Another red flag to me. I was so angry at this point, I snapped at her saying, where the F have you been? She claims to have been in the shower. I asked, where the F is he? She claims to not know. The house was empty when she got home. I don't believe her and I say I'll be home in 20. I gave her an incorrect time so that if they were up to something, I would catch them in the act. I was home within 5 minutes and when I got there, she had gotten back in the shower. And he wasn't home. Her phone was on the table, so I guessed her password again and again until I disabled her phone. Okay, I think we might be spiraling now. We have been wrong about everything so far today. I think we're spiraling. And now her phone's locked. So here we go. The confrontation is about to happen. I was so angry, I didn't even care. I banged on the bathroom door and told her to get out, we need to talk. She came out wrapped in a towel, eyes worried. I demanded to know what was going on. She said she had no idea what I was on about. I told her to unlock her phone because I know they are up to something. She started to get upset and begged me not to do this. She said I was ruining everything. It's a surprise. I can feel it. They're surprising him. It sounded like an admission to me, so I called her a sleut and said if she didn't show me her phone right now, I was leaving. She started crying, unlocked her phone, and threw it at me, then went to our bedroom and shut the door. Instead of following, I started reading. Well, Reddit, half of you were right. Oh, it was a Christmas surprise. Our roommate works at a sports shop. She had arranged for me to get a whole new football kit. Not just for me, but for my entire Sunday league team. She had been asking the guys their sizes and messaging them to my roommate so that he can keep them to one side for her at the store. I felt so sick. This amazing girl has been trying to do something for me that I really needed. I'm captain of the Sunday League team and I've been moaning about the cost of a new kit. She's been using her own money to do this for me. And I just called her a sleut and accused her of sleeping with our roommate. I heard her crying from our bedroom, so I knocked on it and I started apologizing. I even got upset and I started crying. I can't believe I caused this. She wouldn't answer the door and kept telling me to F off. Then she used the phone in our room to ring her dad. He came for her, asked no questions on why she was upset, just gave me the look that makes my ass leak. Ew. I mean, I don't need that visual. Grow up, Joss. I can't. I swear, poop is funny to me. If you make a poop joke, I am laughing. Like, farting is funny, all right? Sue me. Immature, loser, fine, I'll take it. I don't even care. Poop and farts are funny. She packed a bag and she has gone to her parents' place. I broke down and confessed that I had been planning on proposing. I don't know what I expected it to do, but she got really angry and told me that after 4 years together, if I can jump to an extreme conclusion so quickly, then I'm not ready to be married. I don't know her at all. I clearly don't trust her and there is no hope for us. Rightfully so. I would probably feel the exact same way. I have been blowing up her phone since until she either blocked me or turned it off. Well, Reddit, I let anger get the best of me and now I have lost the best thing that ever happened to me. She told my roommate too and he came home pissed at me as well. He said he can't believe I think that he would do that to me. She left me and my roommate is pissed at me. Safe to say I've ruined Christmas and lost my incredible girl. Any advice on how to fix this? I don't want it to end over something so messed up on my part. I don't know how you fix this. I mean, you can obviously take accountability and apologize, but I don't know if that's gonna be enough. Because it's so true. If you were about to marry this person, the suspicion's fine because it did look sketchy in the beginning and we're all human, but like a conversation could have just happened to start, you know, maybe. We got some more crazy stories. I don't know how it gets crazier than the first two stories, but here we are. We're gonna hydrate first. It's hydration station. Drink your water today. It's a new year, new health. That's so annoying. Cheers. I know you guys have been asking for an update on little girl and her little toe. She's good. She's fine. She went and got all her nails trimmed, which helps because sometimes like overgrowth can cause some swelling on the dew claw. So now we're just like cleaning it and keeping it dry and clean so that it can heal, but it's doing so much better. She's honestly not even phased. Like even if you touch it, she's like unfazed by it. It's just a little bit inflamed. She's okay. Clearly. The most annoyed and unbothered by me all the time. Okay, bye. All right, the next story. Am I the a-hole for faking food poisoning to teach my boyfriend a lesson? I have no idea how this is gonna go. This story came August 30th, 2021. So my boyfriend, 28 male, and I, 26 female, both love to cook and we are very good at it. So often we make meals together and it's something we really bond over. However, he has a serious issue with cross-contamination that drives me insane. As a result, I feel like I have to constantly keep an eye on him to make sure that he is sanitizing things properly. It frustrates me that I feel like I have to watch him, and it frustrates him whenever I point out something that he's done that seems unsanitary. Last Friday evening, we were making carnitas when I noticed that he was using the same knife and cutting board that he had used to chop raw pork to then chop up onions and radishes. Oh, a crime. I've had food poisoning about 3 times in my entire life. One was in 2025. I thought I was dying. If you've never had it, bless yourself, because it is the most vulnerable state a human body can be in, okay? So I also, when I'm cooking, I'm like above and beyond terrified of any kind of cross-contamination. It's a little annoying, I gotta admit. I could literally see red splotches on the cutting board from where the meat had been sitting. I pointed out that whenever I need to cut both meat and produce, I always do the produce first, so that way I can use the same knife and cutting board without having to worry about cross-contamination. I told him that we couldn't use the onions and radishes for the dish because I was not about to top my carnitas with them now that they were contaminated with raw pork. He flipped out and kept saying, "It's not like it's chicken." I said, "So what? It's still raw meat and there's still potential for foodborne illness." He wouldn't let it go, so finally I was like, fine, I will eat your tainted effing produce, which pissed him off even further. He stormed off into our bedroom and refused to finish cooking with me. Without him knowing, I cut up new onions and radishes for garnishing, and we ate dinner separately. The next day, we were supposed to go to his parents' place as they were hosting a congratulatory dinner because my boyfriend recently got a new job. In the morning, I faked being ill and hung out in bed watching Netflix and reading most of the day. He seemed baffled by me being sick, and I was like, I don't know. I mean, I did eat those onions and radishes that you were so pressed about. He looked irritated after that, but he seemed to believe that I was actually sick. You see, the thing about food poisoning is though, if you guys both ate the same meal, you're both getting it. There's no way. There's no possible way. Right? Like food poisoning, when something is like it is vile. When I got food poisoning last year, you guys, 6 of us, me and my friends, went out to eat chicken nachos. We all got food poisoning. All of us. Every single person on their deathbed. It was awful. I could be wrong though, scientifically speaking. When it came time to start getting ready to head out to his parents' house, I said I was still too ill and ended up staying home. His mother messaged me later on and explaining that it was extremely rude of me to have missed the dinner and that I should have taken some Pepto-Bismol or something so that I could be there to celebrate with them. I didn't even bother responding, and when my boyfriend returned home that night, I could tell he was bummed, but not mad that I missed dinner. Multiple people in this family are now pissed because they think I'm an unsupportive girlfriend. I do feel guilty about missing the dinner since it was important to him, but I also was at my wit's end as I've tried to talk about the contamination thing with him nicely many times in the past, but he always gets pissed off about it and then doesn't change his ways. Am I the a-hole? Well, this was definitely petty. This dinner was important. It was a big deal. I feel like you guys could have just had another conversation about the food thing the next day. And if you just chopped up new onions and stuff, like whatever. I get it's annoying and frustrating, but like, I don't know. I don't think it's worth like missing something really important to your partner. I just wouldn't have eaten that food. Let me tell you, I would have had the same stance as you. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. You really just sat in bed all day completely fine and missed an important thing. That feels extra petty. We have an update though, and this one came almost a month later, September 27th. To start, many of you suggested that I purchase color-coded knives and cutting boards and that I have a serious discussion with him about the subject. These are things I've done in the past, but I figured another try wouldn't hurt. I sat him down and I explained that although cross-contamination might not be a big deal to him, that it is to me and that it would make me feel a lot better if he would please take my feelings into consideration. He promised me that he would be more careful, but then the next afternoon, I saw him put a cutting board away without washing it. After having chopped raw chicken on it. Well, you know what? Let him eat his own damn food. Let him experience the food poisoning and be on your way with that. I would say from now on, I'm only eating what I cook myself. That's crazy. Oh my God. This obviously bothered me, but I decided not to say anything since we were both fresh out of the conflict. That same night, I took him out to a nice dinner as a way to make up for missing the one at his parents' house. We had a lovely time and things seemed to be on the mend for a few hours. Later that night, however, he developed really terrible food poisoning. And to make matters worse, he was supposed to start his new job the next morning and ended up calling in sick. Okay, well, that's definitely a lesson learned. He blamed me for it because he thought that the food at the restaurant was what made him ill. I told him that I didn't see how it could have been that because we shared dishes and I was feeling fine. The following day, his mother called and let us know that she had just taken his dad to the hospital. Apparently, he had been feeling super unwell, and we all assumed it was related to a chronic disease that he's had for a few years now. He ended up needing multiple blood transfusions, and tests found none other than E. coli in his urine. In the days following, my boyfriend continued to miss work, and I discovered that about half the people that attended his celebration dinner the weekend before ended up sick. A bunch of other BS happened with his mother trying to blame me for getting people sick, but I won't even bother going down that rabbit hole at the moment. If you hadn't already guessed, my boyfriend got fired from his job, oh my gosh, without having worked a single day there. Guess not showing up during your first week isn't a good look. On the bright side, he has shown a sudden and intense interest in kitchen hygiene. Apparently getting sick himself and having his dad end up in the hospital was all it took. It has been a couple of weeks since this all took place. A lot of you suggested that I break things off, and at this point, I think I may be headed in that direction. Edit. Since some of you were wondering, my boyfriend has gotten sick like this before more than once, but he usually has other reasons for why he thinks he's not feeling well. Both of his parents have gotten the stomach flu a few times since we've been together. His dad has a blood disease that has progressed over the years, so his recent bout of illness put him in pretty bad shape. I always thought my boyfriend had a sensitive stomach. We only began living and cooking together about a year ago, and I hadn't realized the severity of his lack of kitchen hygiene until then. That's a lesson to learn, man. I don't wish food poisoning against anyone, except maybe one of my ex-boyfriends, maybe two. Maybe. Nothing severe, but like just enough, you know, because it's awful and I've had it a few times. So karma maybe came for me a few times because I've had it. Have you guys had it? I mean, let's not be TMI in the comments, but have you had it? Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if you've had food poisoning. What a fun discussion that will be. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy. I'll see you tomorrow.